Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Veronia Wills Poetry. Today my motivational speech is about being who you are. You are your own world. Understanding the uniqueness of who you are. Have you ever stopped to ask yourself why you are the way you are? Why do you think the way you think? Why do certain things move you while other things leave you untouched? Why do you dream about certain things? Why do you fear certain things? Why do you love what you love? Why do you respond to life differently from the person standing beside you? And perhaps the most important question of all, how much of who you are has been shaped by the way you have experienced the world? Because every individual is unique, not simple because we have different faces, different names, or different personalities. We are unique because no two people experience life in exactly the same way. We may live in the same world, but we don't necessarily experience the same world. You see life through your own eyes. You interpret it through your mind. You feel it through your emotions. You remember it through your experiences. And you give meaning to it through your beliefs. That means there is something about your inner world that nobody else can completely duplicate. You know, you are more than a personality. When we talk about someone's personality, we often describe them with simple words: quiet, outgoing, sensitive, confident, creative, serious, adventurous, reserved, compassionate, ambitious, but a human being cannot truly be reduced to a handful of characteristics. You are a collection of experiences. You are memories. You are questions. You are dreams. You are fears. You are hopes. You are lessons. You are contradictions. You are strengths. You are flaws. You are things you understand about yourself and things you are still discovering. There are parts of you that you have already met, and there are parts of you that life has not yet introduced you to. That is what makes being human so fascinating. You are still becoming. Do you know your experiences become part of your story? Think about how many experiences have influenced the person you are today. The people who encourage you, the people who disappointed you, the moments when you succeeded, the moments when you failed, the places you live, the things you were taught, the opportunities you received, the opportunities you never received, the conversations you remembered, the words someone said to you years ago that you still carry, the moments that change the way you see yourself. All of these experiences can become part of the story you tell yourself about who you are. And sometimes that story helps you. Sometimes it limits you. Sometimes you begin believing this is just who I am. But perhaps you need to question that, because there is a difference between saying, "This is who I am today," and saying, "This is all I can ever become." You are allowed to grow beyond an old version of yourself. You ever think your thoughts help shape your world? Our thoughts matter, not because every thought we have is true, but because the thoughts we repeatedly entertain can influence how we see ourselves and the world around us. If you constantly tell yourself that you are incapable, you may begin avoiding opportunities that could have helped you grow. If you constantly tell yourself that you don't belong, you may begin withdrawing from places where you actually could have flourished. If you believe that failure means you are a failure, every setback may feel like a judgment of your identity. But what if failure is simple information? What if disappointment is sometime redirection? What if uncertainty is not proof that you are lost, but evidence that you're still discovering? Your thoughts don't have to become your prison. You can examine them, question them, challenge them, and choose which ones deserve your attention. Do you know your dreams are part of your inner world? And then there are your dreams. Dreams are fascinating because they reveal something about what we desire. Maybe your dreams about becoming a writer. Maybe you want to build a business. Maybe you want to travel. Maybe you want to create art. Maybe you want to teach. And also, maybe you want to help people. Maybe your dream is simple: to live a peaceful and meaningful life. Whatever it is, don't immediately dismiss it because someone else doesn't understand it. Your dream can your dream came from somewhere. It may be connected to your curiosity, your experiences, your values, your imagination, your pain, your hopes, your desire for freedom, your desire to create, your desire to contribute something meaningful. And sometimes a dream isn't simple telling you what you want to have. It may be revealing who you want to become. Do you know that creativity can reveal who we are? This is why creativity can be so powerful. When you write, you are expressing something. When you dance, you are expressing something. When you paint, you are expressing something. When you build, you are expressing something. When you create a story, a song, a business, a design, or an idea, you are bringing something from your inner world into the outer world. And sometimes you discover yourself through that process. You may start with an idea, but the act of creating teaches you something about yourself. You discovered what interests you, what moves you, what frustrates you, what excites you, what you care about, what you want to communicate. And eventually, you may say, "This is part of who I am. This is when begin to meet." Do you know your flaws aren't part of this story, too? Or I could say your flaw are part of the story. We often talk about uniqueness as if uniqueness means being exceptional, being talented, being confident, being beautiful, being successful. But that's not the whole truth. Your uniqueness also includes the things you struggle with, your imperfections, your insecurities, your mistakes, your contradictions, the parts of yourself you are still learning to accept. Being human doesn't mean becoming flawless. It means becoming conscious, learning, growing, understanding yourself. And perhaps one of the most freeing things you can discover is that you don't have to hate yourself. You don't have to hate your imperfections in order to grow beyond them. You can acknowledge them without allowing them to define your entire identity. You can say, "This is something I struggle with," without saying, "This is all that I am." There is a difference. And do you know your ambition reveal something too? Then, as we know, there is ambition. What do you think? What are you reaching towards? What make you say, "I want more from myself"? Ambition isn't necessarily about becoming richer, more famous, or more powerful than someone else. Sometimes ambition is simple the desire to become more fully yourself, to learn, to create, to grow, to contribute, to experience more, to become capable of something you once thought was impossible. Your ambition can reveal what you value. But remember, your ambition does not determine your worth. You're, you are valuable before you accomplish the dream. The dream is something you pursue. It is not the price you must pay to deserve respect. We all live in the same world, but we don't see the same world. Think about this. Two people can walk through the same doorway. One sees an opportunity, another sees a risk. One sees possibilities, another sees uncertainty. One sees beauty, another barely notice. Why? Because we don't simply see the world with our eyes. We interpret the world through everything we have experienced. Your history influence your perception. Your beliefs influence your interpretation. Your personality influences your response. Your dreams influence what you notice. Your fears influence what you avoid. Your values influence what matters to you. So, when you look at the world, you aren't simple seeing the world. In some ways, you are seeing the world through yourself. And another person is doing the same thing through who they are. That is why understanding other people requires compassion. We don't know the entire story behind someone's behavior. We don't know what shape their fears. We don't know what they have survived. We don't know what they were taught. We don't know what they are silently carrying. And we don't know what dreams are quietly living inside them. Stop comparing your inner world to someone else's outer world. This is why comparison can be so destructive. You see someone else's success, but you don't see their entire journey. You see their confidence, but you don't see their private doubts. You see their accomplishments, but you don't see their failures. You see where they are today, but you don't see everything that brought them there. And then you compare their visible life to your invisible struggles. That's not a fair comparison. Your journey is yours. Your timing is yours. Your personalities is yours. Your dreams are yours. Your lessons are yours. And your path toward becoming who you are capable of becoming is yours. Please remember, you don't have to understand everything about yourself today. Maybe there are things about yourself you don't understand yet. That's okay. Self discovery is not a test you have to finish. You can spend your entire life discovering new things about yourself. You may discover a passion you didn't know existed. You may change your beliefs. You may change your goals. You may discover that something you once wanted no longer matters. You may discover that something you ignored for years is actually important to you. That's growth. You are not betraying yourself by changing. Sometimes changing is how you become more honest with yourself. Do you know that your purpose may grow from who you are? And this brings us back to purpose. Perhaps purpose isn't completely separate from identity. Perhaps the two develop alongside each other. Your experience shape you. Your experience influence your thoughts. Your thoughts influence your interests. Your interests can awaken your passions. Your passions can influence your dreams. Your dreams can inspire ambitions. Your ambition can lead you toward actions. And through that journey, you may begin discovering purpose. Perhaps purpose isn't always something you find waiting for you. Perhaps it is something you uncover through becoming. You live, you learn, you create, you fail, you love, you change, you questions, you discover, and slowly you begin to understand. This matters to me. Do you ever realize that you are not a finished product? Never forget this. You are not a finished product. You are not the person you were 5 years ago. You are not even necessarily the person you were yesterday. Every experience gave you another opportunity to understand yourself. Every challenge can teach you something. Every failures can reveal something. Every new idea can open a door. Every creative spark can introduce you to another part of yourself. So don't be afraid of becoming. Don't be afraid to discover that you are different from who you thought you were. Don't be afraid to change your direction. Don't be afraid to outgrow an old identity, because life isn't asking you to remain exactly the same. Life is giving you the opportunity to become. So ask yourself, who are you? Perhaps today, instead of asking, why am I not like everyone else? asks, what makes me me? What experience shaped you? What do you believe? What do you question? What do you love? What do you create? What do you fear? What do you dream about? What are you passionate about? What are you still learning? What are your strengths? What are your flaws? What do you want to become? And what gives your life meaning? Don't rush to answer. Sit with the questions, because sometimes the questions we ask ourselves are more transformative than the answer we receive. Are you aware your uniqueness is not a problem to solve? You don't have to become someone else to have value. You don't have to have the same personality as someone else. You don't have to have the same dreams. You don't have to walk the same path. You don't have to understand the world exactly as someone else understands it. You were shaped by a life that nobody else has lived. And someone else was shaped by a life that you have never lived. So perhaps instead of judging the difference between us, we can learn from them. Perhaps instead of trying to make everyone fit the same definition of success, we can allow people to discover their own meaning. And perhaps instead of asking people, why aren't you more like me? We should ask, who are you becoming? Because there is something extraordinary about being human. You are simultaneously shaped by your past while still capable of creating your future. You carry memories, but you can create new ones. You have flaws, but you can grow. You have fears, but you can become courageous. You have dreams, and you can decide which ones are worth pursuing. You have an identity, but your identity can evolve. Do you know you are your own unfolding story? So don't reduce yourself to one word. You are not simple, your career. You are not simple, your personality. You are not simple, your mistakes. You are not simple, your achievements. You are not simple, your dreams. You are not simple, your past. You are the unfolding relationship between all of these things. And somewhere within that complexity is you, still learning, still changing, still creating, still becoming. Perhaps the greatest journey isn't discovering how to become someone else. Perhaps it is learning to understand the person who has been here all along, the person behind the expectations, behind the comparisons, behind the labels, behind the fear, behind the need for approval, the person who has dreams, the person who has ideas, the person who has a creative spark, the person who has flaws, the person who has ambitions, the person who has questions, the person who has a story that nobody else can tell in exactly the same way. That person is you. So take time to know yourself. Listen to your thoughts. Examine your beliefs. Explore your creativity. Understand your flaws without allowing them to define you. Honor your dreams without allowing them to become your entire world. Follow your curiosity. Question what no longer feels true. Discover what matters. And give yourself permission to change. Because you are not here to become a copy of someone else's life. You are here to live your own unfolding story. And perhaps your uniqueness is not something you need to prove. Perhaps it is something you need to understand, embrace, and express. You have lived a life that nobody else has lived. You have seen things through eyes nobody else's possesses. You have felt things through a heart shaped by your own experiences. You have imagined things that existed first only in your mind. You have dreamed dreams that belong to you. And perhaps somewhere within all of that, your passions, your thoughts, your experiences, your personality, your imperfections, your creativity, your ambitions, your questions, and your dreams. There are clues to the person you are becoming. So don't be afraid to look inward. Don't be afraid to ask difficult questions. Don't be afraid to discover that you are still changing because you are not finished. You are becoming. And perhaps the purpose of your journey is not simple to arrive at a final version of yourself, but to remain awake enough to discover who you can become next. You are one person among billions, but there has never been another you, and there never will be. That is not something to overlook. That is something to honor. Thank you so much for watching my motivational speech. Please tune in for regular poems, shorts, and you have yourself a wonderful and productive day. One love.